every day I'd kind of be like, I'm here. I'm alive. That is a gift. And it was it was a very simple revelation, but it was just one of the many gifts that this show and what, Coco kind of gave me. So I graduated high school the same year as the character I play, Coco, Conrad Roy. And for that reason, I was a young man when this all happened. And for that same reason, I wasn't too interested in the news all the time. So I find it more interesting now when any person, as this project started unfolding, we were a part of it, I would go to anybody I knew and say, hey, I'm doing this thing. It's about, remember that case with the girl? And they'd be like, oh my God. Yeah. And they had such an immediate, emotional response that as I've gotten to know it more, I can see where other people's interest still is very much real and very unresolved.
17-year-old girl. Texts her friends for 3 days telling them her boyfriend's missing, but this girl knew he wasn't missing. She was in contact with him the whole time.
Right up until
he killed himself.
Just texts.
Due respect? Those are messed up texts. I think she was telling him to do it, encouraging him.
Yeah, for me, I think, my family followed the case. I remember it being on the news and seeing those photos of her, going to court with the eyebrows and kind of the scowl, and how kind of the media really villainized this person. That was what I knew. I didn't know, I think after reading the Esquire article that Jesse Barron wrote, who is a producer on this as well, was when I kind of saw the case in a new way. I was also very young. I was in high school at the time.
Yeah. I remember seeing pictures of Michelle and saying, oh, the texting, suicide, and I was like, oh, she's so guilty.
Yeah.
Just having such a immediate reaction, just by the way she looked. And I was like, why am I judging this girl without really knowing anything? Just seeing the headline and seeing her face and making assumptions. And I think so many people have. And then, I came on board with this project actually quite late into the production, but I watched the documentary and I read the article, and I just, wow, this is so layered. There's so much here to explore. And I came on board because I just wanted to be part of telling the story. I think it's just an important cautionary tale, and we want to honor Conrad's life, and there's just, it was so rich.
A lot to unpack.
I got to know someone so much, and I feel in a more intimate way than maybe the court of public opinion might, in sort of just the one lens we got him. And for that reason, it was also, it was quite lifting. Every day I'd kind of be like, I'm here. I'm alive. That is a gift. And it was it was a very simple revelation, but it was just one of the many gifts that this show and what Coco kind of gave me.
It's difficult because I think also, playing Michelle, yes, she is a real life person. You feel a responsibility, but also at some point too, you have to make the character, and you're going to have to make decisions for that character. That we have all those text messages, and reading through them, we did have access to that, and had a lot of research in Jesse and in the documentary a bit, so I think getting inside of her head a little bit more, even though I'm playing her, so I couldn't judge her, and I do sympathize with where she was at, she was so incredibly alone, and that just the connectiveness that we all need, and thinking it's kind of ironic with the phones being something that connects us, but so this story is such a modern one because it could only be told with the technology that we all have today, and how it in a lot of ways can be harmful and is the weapon in the show. So that just continues to be something that I'm floored by, how modern the story is, how it has to, I don't know, texting. I'm addicted to my phone, addicted. I am. I you lose, you're what do you do without it? Your instant gratification of that, and what it all means, and bullying today, and how easy it is on social media, and just when you're behind a screen, you feel kind of invincible, and it's what can lead you to say those hurtful things that you probably wouldn't say to someone face to face.
They've opened an investigation into your connection with the death of Conrad Roy.
But I didn't do anything wrong.
There are text messages, thousands of them.
Go on, say it.
He was living with you when it happened.
Think I don't think about it every goddamn night?
It was kind of a culture shock because I went from the Great series, and I only had 2 weeks in between to go from the Great to the girl from Plainville. So couldn't be more opposite, I would say. So yes, I think our set, we were very extremely close, but it was, I wouldn't say it was the lightest set. I think we love each other,
I think we
and
all
we were
knew
very
what a
supportive.
profound
But
experience it was,
Right.
and the
Completely.
responsibility that we had to tell these people's, story with care and sensitivity, and that just carried over through like the entire crew. From the operators to the sound department, like everybody just felt how important it was, and had a lot of respect for the story that we were telling, and that was really important. I had a baby during the pandemic, so it was my first time working away from him and traveling back and forth, and so like all my emotions were right there. It was not that difficult to tap into, and of course imagining what Lynn went through, and I would listen to her every morning because she had done numerous interviews, and I had audio of her clipped together, and I would listen to that every morning just to try and get into her headspace, and it was a heavy place to live for 5-6 months. But yeah, we also had light moments. We had a party at my house.
yes,
Because I had a backyard.
Club 7, yes.
The cops came, I will say. So
They did. I opened the door. I forgot about that.
yeah.
So it was
So
a
they were like,
major.
the cops are like, what? The cops are here? Like, what are you talking about?
Right, no one believed me.
The buzziest
Oh my God,
spot
I
in
came back-
Savannah. Club 7, yes.
Oh my god.